the studio garage. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and as we were talking about before, just take it away and start diving into as much as you want to dive into.
Sure.
As I was saying, like, tell us again. You were sharing with us at work the other day, kind of like you joined when you were 26, right? And then so that's
Late
8
joiner.
years. Yeah, late joiner. 8 years of life experience. Take me kind of like through those 8 years as quickly or as much as you want.
Yeah.
And then what brought you into the Navy?
So was always very into music.
Yeah.
Dad was a drummer. There was always instruments in the house. So through high school, I played drums, played in little garage bands here and there, and ended up getting the opportunity with a couple bands I was in or scabbing for to start touring. So I toured for a while, probably from age like 18 to 22-ish, 21, 22-ish.
And these are just like local small bands?
Yeah,
or pretty...
just like punk bands.
Yeah, okay.
Just playing fast, sloppy shit,
Yeah.
And like not making any money, just cutting even, just traveling for free. So that brought me to make friends in a lot of places, and which gave me the opportunity to leave the Midwest where I was from. First time I moved away from home was for a girl. Moved down to New Orleans. Was there for like a year, bar backing, working, racked up a bunch of cash, and then that relationship was on the rocks. So I split and went to Seattle. So was in Seattle with all my boys, whom I kind of call them like my chosen family.
Yeah.
They are to me,
Yeah.
They're like more than friends to me. I feel closer with them than a lot of my close family.
Yeah.
So I guess just being a young adult there, I've had a lot of jobs, man. Like, you name it, I've probably done it. I've worked in restaurants, machine shops. I valeted for a long time. My last job before I joined the Navy was moving inventory around for Ferrari of Seattle.
Ferrari cars?
Yeah.
So that's the dopest car you've ever driven?
I mean, I guess probably, yeah. Yeah, there was some stuff that I wasn't even allowed to drive there.
Really?
Like only the owner and his sons were allowed to drive it.
The
like
owner of the dealer?
Yeah, I was a privately owned dealer.
Oh, shit, that's pretty dope. That's pretty fucking cool.
That was the last job I had. And then, I don't know, it kind of hit me. I think in your at least for me, it was my mid-20s, obviously, where it's like, it comes the thing, you see people that find their thing, their careers, or you see them take that next step in life. And I felt like I was maybe lagging, and I was like, I need to do something. But I never liked school. I was always good at school, but I never liked it. It was boring to me, not interesting.
Yeah.
I've never minded work. So I just have always been like, no, I'm just going to work. Like, I'll just find a job. And, it always worked for me. Never had trouble finding a job. But I knew I wasn't going to retire off the jobs that I was doing. Right.
Yeah. So that was in your head of like, what am I doing when I'm 50?
Of working till I'm dead.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's scary. For sure.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think a lot of people don't really still realize that, right?
Yeah.
But like, but that's America too, kind of, right? Is this like mentality of, well, you work for, if you're in the military, 20, but then after that you work for another 20, so 40.
Right.
So then you work until you're 65, and then at 65 or 67 and a half, whatever the fuck it is, then. So I've never thought about that. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Not like you did, because I was already in the military at 25. I already had this like, well, at 25 in 13 more years, I'm fucking done.
Right.
Working, so my first job or whatever. So
sure.
So you're thinking about that, which is huge, and then that's what kind of catapulted you towards the military?
Yeah, that was a huge part of it. I knew that if I was going to find an actual career that could support a real retirement, it was either going to come from something like the military or something where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go to school at least for a couple years to get something, like a real job. But I didn't have any money to pay for that. And my parents beat it into my head to like never have debt.
Okay.
So like just putting myself through school, I knew it was, I've seen my friends do it. Like I've seen that. I've seen them get out with degrees and then they're paying fucking school loans forever. I never wanted to be in that position. So I was like, honestly, at first I wanted to go Coast Guard.
Okay.
I was like, let me do 4 years in the Coast Guard. I'm going to try to stay in Seattle because I never wanted to leave. I love it there. Let me try to go Coast Guard, and I wanted to be IS. I wanted something with a top secret clearance because one of the last jobs I had before the Navy, this was the one before Ferrari, I was valeting cars at a hotel, and one of the guys there was like this ex-Army Ranger, and he lived there with his wife. So the first 17 floors was the hotel, and then there was another 15 or 20 so more floors that were all residential condominiums. And one of those dudes that lived up there was an ex-Army Ranger who was collecting like a 6-figure salary, literally doing like security at Amazon because he had a top secret clearance and he knew how to kill people. So he's just, he didn't do anything. He was just racking money. And I was like, shit. He was like, and I had talked to him before I joined. I was like, yo, I'm thinking about joining the military. Like, what do you think? And he's like, either leave with something that's transferable. He's like, I didn't leave with much, but I left with a top secret.
Right.
And I'm getting paid off that. And I was like, okay, top secret, cool. I'm going to go IS. So the recruiters are not in Seattle. They're in a town south of Seattle called Tukwila. And rolled up in there, met this dude. He's in engineering right in the Coast Guard. He was either EN or HT, something around there. Or maybe he was DC. He's a second-class petty officer. His name is Jacob. I was calling Petty Officer Jacob by his first name. Like no one's ever been in the military in my family. I'm the first one. Well, my grandpa has a kind of weird story, but we can talk about that later maybe. So rolling around with this dude, Petty Officer Jacob, like DC2 or whatever his rate was. And he's giving me tours of Sector Seattle, which is like one of the bigger Coast Guard bases on the West Coast. And I was like, dude, this seems awesome. Like, potentially I could just stay here in Seattle and I have a sick job. Maybe I'll love it, And he's telling me all these crazy shit like, oh, the Coast Guard is like the best retention rate out of all the branches, which...
Well, it's not really a branch. We can fucking start cracking those jokes.
But they ended up not wanting me because I've been arrested when I was younger.
Okay.
Just over stupid shit.
Yeah. Like misdemeanor, just...
Like fighting and stealing. Like stupid kid shit.
Yeah,
Literally arrested when I was like... I think the first time I got arrested when I was like 17 over fighting.
Okay.
But that's enough for the Coast Guard. They don't need that many people, right?
Yeah.
So they're picky as hell. They're like, we don't want you.
But you're like, where else could I do this?
Well,
and the Navy was like, hey, we like motherfuckers like that.
Yeah. His suggestion was like, well, the Navy's like sort of the same. They have the same rates, yada, yada, same pay system. He's like, if you did a contract there and still wanted to go Coast Guard, you could probably go Coast Guard then, having 4 or 5 years honorable service. And that in my head was like, okay, well, let's fucking go for it. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I can come back here anytime and fucking work for a Ferrari or work for a hotel or get a fucking trade job or whatever. Let's try it. I wanted a challenge. And, so I just went for it. Ended up, MEPS offered me 2 jobs. A's. This is actually really fucking funny. They offered me 2 jobs. They offered me SCG and they offered me AZ. And I said I didn't want AZ because I didn't want to do administration stuff.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the guests that are listening, and if you're listening, go ahead and jump in the chat if you have any questions for Chris or anything. So Chris, what do you do where we're at?
Right now on board, I'm working in admin as an SCG.
Yeah, you're one of our best yeomen.
I appreciate that. I have a good teacher.
Who's another
SCG. Who is an SCG. Literally, all of admin is comprised of SCGs.
Yeah. 4
SCGs being fake YNs. Trying their damnedest to be good YNs.
You guys do a damn good job. Like, no cap, for real. You guys do. I could understand. I got one of my best friends is a YN. What's up, Charlie? He's a YNC, and like I go to that dude for. I think you guys might have met him one time. I didn't know what Will did once when he came over to the building, but like it's people will look at YNs and be like, oh, it's easy because it's office work. But it's like it's tedious, monotonous, like
it's
very
super tedious.
detail oriented. You know, literally dot your I's and cross your T's.
Yeah.
And if you're not for that, or in your case, you did not sign up for it.
Right.
It makes you feel somewhat kind of way, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I don't. It's better than some other jobs they could have gave me. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
for sure. So I'm grateful in a sense, but at the same time, I'm still a little pissed that the Navy put me in this situation.
Yeah,
I feel kind of fucking like I got fleeced for sure. That's how I feel.
they fucking